My partner called me out for still having a relationship with my ex and non-biological daughter, because she's technically not mine, and accused me of being emotionally ignorant, so in response I kicked her out. My partner, 22F, and I, 24 meters, have been together for just under a year now. A few days ago, she asked if we could talk, and I immediately feared she wanted to break up. However, after our conversation, it was not what I expected at all. A bit of background for this is I have two daughters, aged 4 and 2. I became a single dad when I was 20, just a few months after my first daughter was born. Her mother left us, and I've been raising her on my own ever since. About a year or so later, I met my now ex-partner. She was very pregnant and, like me, was facing the reality of being a single mom soon. Her baby daddy had left her and their daughter, leaving her with no support. We were together for almost 2 years and were a blended family, and during that time, I raised our youngest daughter as my own, loving and caring for her as such. Both of my daughters are daddy's girls, and I cherish our relationship. I've never once second-guessed my role as her father. Unfortunately, my ex-partner struggled with mental health issues, including BPD and bipolar disorder, which eventually led to infidelity. Despite our attempts at couples counseling, I realized I couldn't continue the relationship. We split amicably, but I made a promise to my youngest daughter that I would always be there for her, and I fully intend to keep that promise. She spends weekends with me and occasionally stays a few days during the week, and this has been a constant for over a year. Now, fast forward to the present. I met my current partner shortly after my breakup, around a month later. Honestly, it was supposed to be a casual fling, but we hit it off so well that we ended up spending the whole night talking, playing games, and getting to know each other. We didn't go beyond kissing, but it felt great. From the start, I was open about my situation being a single father to 2 girls, and the unique relationship with my youngest daughter. At the time, she seemed fine with it and didn't bring it up again. During our recent talk, she expressed that she's uncomfortable with the fact that I'm still involved in my daughter's life and my ex's life. She said that it's emotionally ignorant and unfair to her that I continue this relationship, and in her words, "You can't possibly love her as much as your actual daughter, she's not even yours." This really hit me hard, and I admit I didn't handle it well and it turned into shouts on both ends. I told her to leave my house. Crappy part was both my kids were in their rooms and heard the whole thing. I really hope they heard hardly anything or nothing at all. It was probably the first time they ever seen me like that. She said she went to stay with her sister, and now everyone is messaging me from her friends and family backing my partner's opinion that she isn't even mine and questioning why I care so much about her. Thankfully my family is on my side and are doing their best to support me emotionally, but it's hard as they live in another state. My mother and stepdad are planning on flying in this coming weekend to help out, which is the best news I've heard all day. Honestly, I'm really confused right now. Am I being unreasonable or unfair? I'm struggling to process my emotions and don't know what to do next. Edit. I should also add that my ex and I remain decent friends and she is a great mother to our youngest daughter. However, my oldest daughter's mother is currently MIA and has been for some time and is not in the picture. My youngest daughter's mother is a great mom but works as a flight attendant for a few years now, so that is only the reason my daughter stays with me a couple days a week on some occasions, so she can pick up extra hours when she wants/needs. This only occurs 3 to 4 times a month if that. Mentally she is much better and is doing her best. We just didn't work out but continues to make sure that our daughter will always have me as her daddy. Also, my GF now doesn't live with me. She does however stay a few nights out of the week over, and we do go out when I find the time. I haven't heard from her since the incident, which maybe is the best. When I wrote this I was definitely trying to word my best during this, and when upset words don't really form in the best way. I do not ever plan on leaving my daughter's life. What I was more looking for in answers was if I was wrong for kicking her out. Should we have talked more about it? I also don't think I hopped into a relationship too fast after my first daughter. It was over a year later and maybe more when I met my ex, and then a month later after that my new GF, which is real fast and was probably the quickest I've ever jumped into a relationship, but I really thought we had a great connection. My first daughter's mom was my high school sweetheart and we were together for years and even was each other's first, but after our daughter was born she completely changed and just decided she had to leave. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Might I suggest, gently, that you pursue therapy and stay away from relationships for a bit? You're quite young and it's been a series of train wrecks. Focus on yourself and your daughters for a bit. Comment 2. You're doing the right thing by prioritizing your kids and their well-being. It's important to show them what healthy relationships and boundaries look like, so taking time to focus on them is key. Therapy could definitely help you process everything, especially since you've been through a lot with relationships and raising your daughters on your own. You don't want to repeat patterns that aren't healthy for you or them. It's good you're taking the space to figure things out. Keep focusing on what's best for your girls. Update. A few words before the update. Also very long update. Thank you all for the incredible support after my post went viral. My girls and I are truly grateful. A special thanks to all the parents who stepped up for a child when it wasn't expected. Children often face the harsh realities of broken homes and crime, and they need our protection. They are innocent and didn't choose to be born into this world, so they need us more than we realize. As parents, we may feel we're not doing enough or wish we could change things, but the past is behind us, and all we can do is strive to be better. I have legal rights to both of my children. For my oldest, the courts granted me full custody after her mother abandoned her, and I don't receive child support nor want any from her. For my youngest, I have joint guardianship, which is different from adoption or full guardianship, and visitation. Her mother suggested that since she sees me as her daughter's only father. While adoption isn't possible right now due to her age and our unmarried status, we're safe on that front. The courts typically require a stronger bond before approving adoption, even if we feel differently. During my breakup with my youngest daughter's mother, she deeply regretted her mistake and tried to make amends and wanted to continue our relationship. However, I couldn't move past it, though I still love and care for her as the mother of my child and a good friend. She has since moved on but still views me as her child's only father. Despite her mistake, I know she's worked hard to better herself, and I forgave her a long time ago. To be fair, this relationship was the quickest I've ever been in, and it was only my third one in my entire life. My first relationship lasted years, starting when we were both 14, and my second came over a year later after going through tough therapy to cope with the challenges of being a single father at such a young age. Moving forward, I plan to focus on therapy, spend time at home with my kids, and work on my small cafe business here in the Valley. Now for the update. Honestly, all of this really blindsided me. Looking back, she seemed perfect. She was always doing little things for me, randomly getting me gifts, and even cooking for me when she stayed over. She'd initiate intimacy every time, and I'd get these constant steamy photos from her, so it honestly seemed like she was really happy and content with everything. I thought I'd lucked out and found someone who truly understood me and made me feel valued. But, in hindsight, it's clear that people are better at hiding things than we often realize. She clearly wasn't okay with any of it, and I had no idea. It's crazy how someone can put on such a perfect front and completely seem like a different person the next day. Anyways, after my post gained some traction, that same night I sent a brief text to her saying that I am sorry for the way she feels and that we aren't right each other and that my daughter will always be my daughter, no matter what. My love for my girls will always be greater than. Later last night I was just hanging out with my girls watching Moana 2 in my room. We all passed out in bed thinking it would be a peaceful night. But at 2 a.m. I was woken up by loud banging on my door, which sent a wave of panic through me. I immediately woke up and grabbed my piece and went to see what was going on. It was my now ex-girlfriend, stumbling drunk and emotional, completely out of control. She was pounding on the door, yelling and crying, and honestly, it terrified me and probably my kids as well. When I opened the door, there she was, standing there, begging to talk and wanting me to hear her out some more. To make matters worse, my oldest came to the door since she too wanted to know what was happening. I quickly told her to watch over her little sister, making sure she was okay while I dealt with the situation. My oldest went into big sister mode, which made me proud in that moment. Realizing that things were probably getting out of hand and that I couldn't get her to calm down, I knew I had to do something. I called the police and explained that my drunk ex was at my door, refusing to leave. Within less than 10 minutes, a police car pulled up, and they quickly took her into custody. The situation was over just like that, and I haven't heard from her since. The officers suggested I file a restraining order, which I already planned to do after everything that happened. Then, just a few hours ago, I got a call from an unknown number. It was a friend of hers asking if I had seen her, and it felt so good to tell her that her friend was probably in jail and that she wasn't my responsibility anymore since she wasn't even my blood. That suggestion came from a comment on my last post, and it honestly felt so empowering to finally set that boundary. Now, things are starting to calm down, and I can focus on taking care of my kids and myself. I have blocked everyone associated with her and plan on just living for now and doing what I can to be the best dad. Maybe one day I will show my girls this post in times if they ever feel alone in this world, to let them know that daddy will always have their back. To my wonderful children, I am proud of you and will always be. No matter who comes into our lives, I will always choose to be your father first and never last. I cannot wait to see what amazing things you do in this world and what amazing things you will do for others. And when my time eventually comes, know this, you will both always be my greatest achievement. I love you so much.